Oh dear. So, I now want to try and find zones that are comfortable, you know, like stress-free type of shooting places. There's no point in, or to me anyway, there's no point in trying to shoot areas that are full of difficulty and just opportunities for the game to crank you up, or at least crank me up anyway. I mean, we're all different, we all have different tolerance levels and so on and so forth. So we can see this one. It's not particularly difficult. So this one I want to keep. So I'm going to keep that one. In reality, I can move that and bring it back to where I am. But it's easy to get around to pick up the dead. take him out, run round, pick up his carcass. I'm not sure whether I can be in the right location here. I shall have a look when I get there. But if I remember rightly, I moved this tripod so that it could also cover another zone, but I'm not sure if I've got the right one. But it looks like the answer to that is no. The question is should I convert it to a level 1 zone so that I don't have so much running around to do? I can claim back the tripod and just leave it be, because I can spot it from the tent in case anything good moves in. So it would make sense to drop this one, turn it into a 1 zone, and of course do a bad shot. So time to feck about. But hopefully this zone will turn into a simple one. A simple level 1 zone. to wait on that one. So this one looks complex, but let's give it a go. If I spook them running up to the tripod, then as far as I'm concerned it's not an easy zone. It's not far to run. Ah, you stupid animal. So, is that a stress-free zone? Sort of. If they run over to the right hand side, like they just did, then it's fine. Because I've got to go that way anyway. It's not a massive distance to run. And I also want to be over that side to work my way down to the next tripod. So I don't mind having to run over this direction. So if that happens, again, it's not too stress inducing. Obviously the simplest answer is just to, quickly drop. I'm hoping that's not another zone being set up. I suppose I'd better have a quick look just to make sure. A lot of the deer ran this way purely from being spooked from my shooting. So yeah, that appears to be the case. This is the one I was thinking of earlier. Not too bad, but it needs looking at again for sure. I think there is a certain order that they'd have to be done in so that they don't spook each other. So another no can see area. I'm going to pull this, no point in having it here causing a distraction. It needs setting up better. That's a big ass one, even from here. Hey there, Dad, how you doing, mate? I didn't see you sneak in there. You're a sneaky person. Oh, it's took me 9 minutes to get round to seeing that. Sorry, buddy. I hope you're still there. I hope you had a good night's rest. It is mess about time for me. I've got to try and reduce the number of zones that I'm shooting over. It's too confusing and too messy. See, I'd like to take this down to to level ones if possible, because it's awkward to shoot, it's awkward to collect from. It's one of those that, ideally speaking, you want to be shooting from over there, but then the wind direction is not particularly good. That's a big ass distance. That's asking too much. So put that back onto there. See, that wind isn't so bad as what I thought. That's better. So, Can I see there? And if so, how far away is it? Yeah, that's a big bog off distance. Now again, it's not so bad if they're drinking in that area of reeds. It's possible that they do. Oh. Okay. What about this one? No, can't see that one at all. Go and get this tripod. So that's another yucky zone. Moose I don't want. So 1, 2, 3, 5 whitetails. Pardon me. Which is too good an offer to miss. But I think this tent I really do need to optimise it around here, I really do. Really do. And the more I look at it, the more I say the tent should be over here. The wind direction says if you was to run down from there, you'd get nowhere near that or that before they centred you and scarpered. So in reality, you would want to come up from this way. And it's a long ass run. Damn it. So I need to re-tripod back here again, which is back to how I had it at the start. You know what? I know I need that tent there just for quick and ease to get down to here to shoot into there. But if I set up another tripod over there, if I've still got enough of them, I do not have a spare one. Bummer. Oh, game, you're a pain in the back end, you really are. I mean, I've got enough money to buy one. Whether I've got enough positions to be able to put one down again is a different matter. Oh dear. I don't think I've got 32 of them out, but I don't want to keep spending the money on bloody tripods. That'd be a great place to set up for decoy ducks and just quack them in. If it'd work. I've never tried it, so I don't know. Hey Moose, are you my big one that I've never seen again since I put a bullet in it? Didn't kill it, but just never seen it since. Come on, be nice. It says, no you can't. You're not allowed to spot it. Despite the fact that you can see it through your binoculars, you can't spot it. It's not allowed. It's a top secret one. And by the time you run over there, it's like, well, you can't see it at all now. Because it's got turbo legs and can run off way quicker than you can ever imagine. And it's been to the SAS School of Camouflage. But enough nonsense. Let me have a look. It's not too far away. Neither is that one really. I mean, it's probably going to be below the hump. Yeah, shut up. It's got no to do with you. Mind your own freaking business. It's no wonder they've got massive, great, big, long noses. You know, always sticking it into other people's business. But 264 is a bit too far out. No. It's back to how it used to be. I was hoping to be able to use that outpost, but that tent is just too important there. That's going to end up as a circuit of its own by the looks of it. Interesting. Because that would make a nice running circuit. It's got a big gap here. I bet there's more whitetail zones in there now. Because that's a big gap. From there up to there, that's a huge gap. Tripod there is just confusing me. I know why it's there, you know, whitetail, whitetail, whitetail. I know that's why it's there. it just doesn't look right. It looks as if it's supposed to be somewhere else. We know this area is full of frickin' shrubbery, so you can't bring another tripod down into it. That's why I was saying about wanting these ones down here to just be not to shoot out the zones, but just to shoot them down to just level ones, and hopefully all the level ones will just come into this pathetic shitty area that is just way too many like reed beds, and you can hardly see the damn thing. So if you could turn it all into just being ones, it'd be really nice. I wonder if anybody's ever counted how many level 1, 2s and 3s whitetails are actually on the map. So like, you know, how many level 1 whitetails can it hold? Oops. Check on my friend, see if he's streaming. Yeah, he is. Let's go and for fix's sake, freaking caps lock on again.
Good morning, Eva. Hello, hello. Yeah, I do believe he has popped up on my short feed a few times. I probably didn't even subscribe to him because most hunting content I subscribe to. There's just so many of them, so I'm unsure of names. I'm better with faces than names. Well, we're gonna take a long shot on him. Oh, he got hit. Oh yeah, get wrecked. Gotta run all the way over there. That's all good hardcore. I appreciate you popping in and lurking. Well, we're putting in the numbers this morning. We're already at 17 kills on the whitetail. Gotta run all the way over there to get him, though. I'm gonna pick this guy up and real fast go fill my coffee cup. My mug says it's freaking like 3 weeks out still. It takes a month for Printify to make it. Also, thank you, sir. I always do the same. I'm gonna make, or if
So I am going to have to put in some effort. Around that area. I mean, we know that the moose go there, but I also know that it's the furthest point south that the whitetails will go. So I just want to have a quick leg over there and just have a quick look on the ground and make sure that we haven't got any white-tailed deer. But I dare say the moose is already in there and chewed up the land with its big heavy feet so that you can't tell. I hope it doesn't, because it's a pain in the back end to get to this lake, puddle, pond. But it is a long haul. Should look up what the weight is for level 1s. But I dare say that the level 1s and 2s weight crossover like they do for 2 and 3. So there's probably no real benefit from doing it. But at least then you could check out the weights of the animals. Hello, mooses. I know, I'm going to disappoint you because I'm not going to shoot you. I'll just spook them. Have a quick look around. Moose. Steals a bit of time off me, but that don't bother me. What bothers me is, you know, people watching the stream thinking, oh, this is boring. I'm gonna go and watch somebody else. That looks like beer. No, it's a roosie. Makes you look stupid when you do things like that. It's just that by the time you've said your sentence, from what your eyeball has seen, you've travelled the distance that you can see, no, it's not beer. But the mouth sentence is already on its way. Yeah, looks as if it stayed as just moose. But this zone is an absolute pain to get at, which is why I'm leaving it alone. But it does put it on that run along the bottom, so overly interested in shooting any ones here at the moment. You're not a one. Neither are you. Neither are you. You're not. You're not. So, pick out the heaviest one. 220. 242. Sorry, buddy. It is you. You screwed around too much. But trying to get to this other zone down at the back here is just really awkward. And I don't have a bipod. I spy with my little eye. Right. Oh dear. Can't get the one behind that lighter. Oh, come on. Freaking hate this game at times, I really do. It's like, no, 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 I'm not moving your mouse pointer. No, no, no. No matter how much you try and move it, it's like, no, I'm not doing it. pigs me off. I hate games that just go to any extreme to fuck you over, and this is how this game is turning. Never used to be like it. Well, bog off then. That's your problem solved. But these type of tactics just rile me. I haven't done any real gun shooting for a long time, but I know a side-by-side 12 gauge shotgun has a heck of a lot more kick to it than a semi-automatic shotgun, and I would assume it would be pretty much likewise. For a semi-automatic rifle, the fact that you recycle the gas from the exploding powder means that you take some of that oomph away from the kick and you use it to recoil, which is why it's called recoil. Your firing type of mechanism and your pin. Otherwise it's just kick, not recoil. Only semi-automatics or fully automatics can have recoil. Bolt actions don't have recoil, they have kick. Just downright annoying though, that was. Oh dear. There's just so much right about this game, but a lot that's wrong about it, and the stuff that's wrong about it is beginning to get to the point where it's destroying the fun. Like I say, that's a dangerous, slippery road. Female, trivial, from there. these ones just seem to spook out at me just running across the back. Oh, they haven't. They are in there. Let's get a bleat on the go. Okay, female. Level 2. That's got to go. 33, 208. Yeah, I knew that was low. And I don't mind. Don't care if I don't get it. I don't mind running to pick up the dead ones if it leads you into another. But this is just so big, and it takes you so long to run round. And purely for that reason, I'd like to see it all turn to level 1s. It will probably never happen. But grinding from base level, it is right. You feel the need as if you've got to rush. So because you feel the need to rush, it makes you, or at least in my case, it makes me purchase things quicker than what I really needed to. And I should have just took my time, walked around, get to know, rather than just, you know, trying to make the money and bang it out all on the map at the earliest opportunity to do so. Which would be great if you was already level 60 and had the cash and you didn't need to worry about the expense of it. But starting out is you can see it's doable, but it is hard work, and the frustration is very real. Like I say, I seriously do not want to shoot out the zones, because if I do, there's no guaranteeing that those deers will merge into another herd on zones that already exist. The chances are they'll just bog off and find another one, and then I've got the problem of finding them. $400 to go to the drink zone, and if you was to keep doing that, you're going to be losing something like 10 minutes of game time, which is what I said about how it makes you feel pressured, as if you've got to rush. But for every 6 of those 400-metre runs, whether it's to pick things up or whether it's to get to a zone, you've lost an hour of the time. The animals don't turn up on time, and like I say, understanding zones, that's fine. Because, as I've said before, all it is just a guarantee that at some point between the hours of X and Y, there will be an animal of that species in that zone. Look at it, full of 2s. Oh man. So that needs another tripod. I haven't got the money for it. But it's not a nice zone to shoot, because like I say, it's that full of reeds, and the way that the game says that you can detect them. Right, so that's doe, doe, doe. But you can see there's another 2, possibly even 3 bucks in there that I can't spot properly. I mean, I can see their horns, I can see their head going up and down and turning and stuff, but according to the game, you can't. And it's just that type of silliness you go. It's now moved everything so that the only thing you can spot is the low level shite. Okay. Oh dear. But this is just a horrible landscape to shoot on. In real life I'd avoid it like the plague. You know, work smarter, not harder. But this game just wants you to work hard. It doesn't want to reward you for your efforts. It just wants to keep kicking you in the teeth instead. And there's only so many kicks in the teeth that you can take as a game player until you just sit there and say, you know what, fuck it, I'm moving on. But you can't develop a circuit around that type of... Well, you can develop a circuit, but it's still going to be slow. It's not going to be efficient. And of course the game knows it. Huh. going to do? You're going to tell me it's a floater so you can waste my time again? Yeah, it was a floater. I'm coming. Just wait for another 25 minutes. I bet you're glad you waited all of that time. Yeah. In reed beds like that, that animal wouldn't float, it'd just drop and its weight would sink it into the mud and it would just stay put. It would not bib and bob across a lake. Which is what I say, things that are just put in anything and everything to slow you down and to piss you off. No other reason for it. Was it done to piss you off? No. It was done to slow you down. What pisses you off is the fact that you've been slowed down. If it happens here, I can kind of understand it. You know, the lake gets deep really quick and the animal being shot has made it jump out of its skin because the surprise and the shock. But like that, how's that managing to drink from there? It's got a degree in plumbing. Have another go. So any over there should not be spooked. And of course it classes it as, no, you had a good hit on the other one, you can't have this one as well. And it just, like I say, it demoralises you. Which is why I say it takes, shall try again, it doesn't take a special breed of person to grind. It takes a person who's got lots of subscribers and lots of time to be able to stream and to show this type of skill, if you want to call it a skill. I don't think it's a skill, it's a play style, but they've got the time to be able to do it. And you know, as long as they're streaming, they're earning, so they don't care if they have to waste their time. It don't bother me, I've got lots of time to waste, like I say, you know. I'm mentally and physically disabled, so I've got lots of time in the day to do this. But this is not how I want to spend my day. Oh dear. And it's as if the game knows that I'm trying to push level 2s out of certain zones so that I don't have to keep visiting them, so it just keeps on pulling them back in. When I wanted better quality animals, it just kept inputting in ones. And in reality, like I say, this long ass run to go and pick things up, if you wound it, turns into an extra long run and you just lose your time trying to do your grind. The fewer animals you pick up, the less money you've got, the less times you can reset time, and so on and so forth. And it is a real bind trying to do it while levelling up. The answer is, don't try and do this while levelling up. And there'll be other streamers out there who are going, yeah, but Grandpa, you know, you're making it sound worse than what it is. No, I'm not. You know, if you're already level 60, go on, dip your boots, put yourself back to level 1, show me how it's done. Stream it. Stream it every day, every hour that you play. Stream it so I can see it. You know? The XP isn't the problem, look, you know, the XP is going up. It's slowly going up. But the amount of time that you are spending running around, not killing things, is slowing you right down on your progress. And the grind makes you feel pressured. I finished talking and they're bogging off. You know, it's like, no, drink time's finished. So what do? Do I just leave these alone? Just leave them be? in the hope that nothing like a great one sneaks in because there's no vacancies for it. I don't know. I ain't got a clue. I mean, to me, and my way of thinking, if you've got a zone that is 5 females, like there's 2 zones down here that are pretty much all female, that it would make sense that Mr. Stud is going to go, look at that, all those females, no competition to fight, I'm going to go there. That's my new home. They're going to be my new harem. That would make perfectly good sense. But I don't know whether this game does that. If it does, then where I've pulled all that hardware off from along the bottom here because it was all level 1s, then I'm screwed, because it means at some stage I've either got to get running from this outpost or this outpost to get all the way down here to run all the way along it again just to make sure. Yeah, I get the idea. Limited number of tents makes perfectly good sense. Limited number of tripods, again, makes perfectly good sense. So I get it. That you need to be able to get somewhere going where you can just go up and down like a yo-yo without all of this cutting across, up, down, cut across, up, down, cut across. If you can get 2 circuits going, you know, like from here to here, yeehaw. But no, this is not good for your head. This isn't. Not good for your head at all. You want to feel as if you are achieving something and making progress. This does not feel that way. This just feels like no matter what you do, you're getting punished. You're stupid enough to play the game. Take it on the chin like a man. No, it doesn't feel that way. It feels as if you're being bullied. And you know, my history, I've always hated bullies. Always. And this is how it feels. It feels as if I'm being bullied into having to play a certain way. I mean, don't get me wrong, I made the choice. But the game style, no. No, 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 no. Not good for you at all. Not at all. It's not healthy for you. Not healthy. Unless, you know, you've got sadomasochistic tendencies, then it's probably good for you. It would help if you set the clock back, you pillock. And the fact that the animals don't turn up on time, even if it's just one that turns up at the start of the drink zone, I'd be happy. Because then it's, you know, to me, behaving as it should. But like I say, I get it, you know, there is no guarantee that they're going to turn up at that time. The only guarantee you have is that between X and Y time, at least one of that species is going to turn up. Which, yes, real life makes perfectly good sense. From a game perspective, no. And so the best one out of the bunch moves itself to a position where, yes, I'm shootable, but I'm also the longest shot. So that when you come to get me, you've got to run for miles. And it wasn't the best of shots. But what was it? 280 metres. So I've now got to run for about, I don't know, what would it work out as, about a quarter of a mile nearly to go and find it. Well, you shot it. Yeah, but that's the point of the game. Suppose the answer is don't take such long shots. Make sure you're within range. Where you can, drop things quickly and easily. But so go and get a drink. And of course it's a bad hit again. Oh man. I'll say it's demoralising beyond a joke. Wasting more time now trying to chase after this one. In the hope that I'm not going to lose too much time. And it's like, look, we're back already. Normally you'd shoot one, they disappear, they don't come back for hours. But like I say, anything and everything to slow you down and to waste your time between the hours of X and Y. You know, why I do not have the mentality for this. Like I say, purely on the grounds of science, I will stick it out. Do I think I'm going to get a great one before level 60? Shit, no. Do I think it's possible? Yes. If it's supposedly random? Yes, it's possible. But I will be well and truly gobsmacked if I do. I might not jump up and down and squeal and squirm like a little girlie and show, you know, humongous levels of excitement and being overjoyed, but I will be absolutely flabbergasted if it happens. They're expecting me to jump up and down and do somersaults when I find it, if I find it. That's not likely to happen. Level 1, level 2, level 2, level 1. Anybody coming from here yet? Yep. Level 1, level 1. Which is good. Means I only have to worry about covering this one. 161, 230, 205, 230 gets the biscuit. Sorry mate, but you're too good for this game. Oh dear. Yeah, Grandpa, waste your ammo, destroy your accuracy, so that you'll have an even harder time taking long shots once you've depleted that out. Oh man. That's what I say, demoralising. It doesn't reward you, it just punishes you and takes things off you all the time. So I guess that's why people enjoy the grind, so that when you do get something like a great one, it's like, yay! After all this pain and torture, I can have a little bit of a giggle and a little bit of joy in my life. It's the wrong way round. Time wasted again. if you get to this corner, they'll be like, there you go. So they don't respond to the caller at all, you just waste your time. There you go, that makes the game feel even better now. Well, it doesn't feel better because it doesn't have feelings, obviously, like, you know. You know what, I'm going to pull that one. It's a waste of its time being there. That tent needs to be over the other side. nasty angle to work with. I shall say you give it any excuse it needs. Stuff it, games, you want it that badly, you keep it. Just get too tired of it. It's just way too demoralising all the time. Have an easy one here, have a kick in the teeth. But make sure that the easy one isn't the best one in the in the pack. Make sure that you can't spot properly, even though the ones that it highlights are actually better disguised than the ones that you want to look at. It's just everything's wrong about it. Make a smoke, see if I can calm down. I'm very close to the point of having to take time away from playing again. But, that is the intention behind all of the bullshit. Like I say, don't take time off work. Go to work, pay your taxes. Be a good little civilian. Because those fat bastards can't live without you. You know what's amusing about it? When I was younger and growing up, it was the smart kids, the intelligent kids that were bullied and that I was always having to stand up for. Not that I had to. But like I say, I've never liked bullies. But now it feels as if the geeks that I stood up for now bully me. Strange. You got a few more seconds, game, before I just say fuck it. Looks like fuck it wins. Oh, dear me. I'm tired of it. Tired of the level of bullshit all the time. It's relentless and demoralising. How these people can do this for 6 hours, 8 hours is beyond me. They must have no sounds awful to say it, but they must have no soul. It's soul destroying, it really is. Like I say, I'm a grown man now, you know, I'm not going to burst into tears about it, but you know, if I was a kid, I would have been crying over this. I'd be in tears. The reward level is far too little. For this style of gameplay. Far too little. If you are going to develop a game that requires you to grind like this to get the ultimate goal of a great one, and don't forget there's 4 different species to go for. But the reward is too little for the amount of time and effort that you as a person is putting in. The reward is way too little. If it's going to just keep on taking the piss out of you at every opportunity it gets, the reward is too small. I will be ecstatic once this is over and I can go back to playing how I want to play, knowing full well that the chances are I will never ever shoot a great one in this game, because the game developers have decided that the only people who can have them in reality are those people who are, like I've said, soulless. They don't give a fridge. If they find it fun, good luck to them. It's not fun to me, it's demoralising, it really is. To me, this is how this game was never intended to be played. And the worst thing they've done is putting the Great One in it and encouraging people to grind for them. I can't deny it is good fun to watch the likes of Scarecrow, Lady Legend and others grinding away, because you know, you see during the grind, you know, 10s and 20s of animals getting shot and getting put down. And it's good to watch. But the people who do it are a special breed of people. They've worked hard at getting the reputation that they have, can't deny it. They've done well to get the amount of subscribers that they have, can't deny it. But this is truly soul breaking. It really is. It is the best form of bullying that I have seen for a long, long time. And you can see I'd rather just stand here and talk, or sit here and talk, moan, groan and bitch about a game rather than play it, because I'm actually getting more enjoyment from bitching and moaning about the game than playing it. Is that what the developers wanted? If so, they have succeeded with me. Will I stop playing the game? No. Playing hardcore style gives me pleasure, gives me my fun, makes the game more of a challenge. Makes you more cautious about the way that you play, think about the way that you play. And the sad bit is, I've never seen any of the top streamers play hardcore. But developers brag about how much artificial intelligence they put into a game. But then the game doesn't seem to have the intelligence, or maybe it does have the intelligence to go, you know what, you've got the right idea. We should give you a pat on the back. Rather than, you know what, you've got the right idea, have a kick in the nuts. But I am at the point where I can actually feel the game not just mentally damaging me, but actually because of my mental conditions and how they impose effects on my physical health, and I can feel my health being damaged by doing this. So it's not just mentally demoralising, it is physically demanding. And like I say, my personality, if that's what you want to call it. My brother calls it a lack of discipline. I've got discipline. I just have a lack of patience with people who want to make other people suffer. So maybe I'm guilty of it. Maybe you're suffering listening to me and thinking, you know, screw you, Grandpa. See ya. Sayonara, scumbag. And that's fine. Each to their own. But Jesus, I am sure this is not what the developers intended this game to turn into. Or maybe it is. if you play Classic, as in Call of the Wild Classic, it is nothing but a money pit. Do you have to spend on it? I don't know, I've not played it long enough to find out, but I wouldn't be surprised if missions are manipulated in such a way that what you need in order to complete a mission you have to pay with real cash. So it would be effectively pay to win. But if it's going to be a pay to win game, which I'm not saying the Classic is, but the Classic is free to play. Anybody can download it, anybody can play it for free. But it is an absolute money pit of a game. I can't remember which way round the currency is, but there's two types of currency. One that you buy with real bread and butter money, and the other one being the in-game currency. And if you're going to rely on the in-game currency, it's going to cost you a lot more time and effort to be able to shoot the amount of animals that you need to shoot cleanly in order to get the in-game currency to be able to buy the stuff that you need to be able to do things. So it brings back the argument as what you have with this version of Call of the Wild and buying the DLCs. And trust me, this company is totally relying on people to buy the DLCs, thinking that life is going to be easier for them to play the game, or the game will be less stressful for them. It doesn't seem to work that way with me. It makes me more stressed, because it means I've invested a lot of money in the game and all it wants to do is just continuously keep kicking me. So I've not been rewarded for spending my real money. But I don't want it to be pay to win. It's an awkward position to be in. I wanted it to be fun, and the DLCs to me should make it more fun. Whether it's because I just stay on the base maps, maybe that's the reason why I'm not having fun. But the base maps are what you get as an initial player the first time you make a purchase. Unless you bought something like the Diamond pack, you know, every map in the game and every DLC thrown at you from the get-go. But, you know, when you see the price of that, most people can't afford that. And instead you buy your DLCs in trickles as you can afford. Pardon me. But this is just going to get, or it's going to keep on getting harder and harder for me to get to level 60, because I know that each level is incrementally further away from the last level. So it's going to get really, really hard for me to be able to keep doing this until level 60. I don't think, I'm not definite, I don't want to give in, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. It's just so massively offensive to me because of the bully, or the way that it feels like, I say, that I'm being bullied into playing a certain style in order to get a great one. Why should I have to feel as if I'm being pushed and bullied to do something? I want the great one, absolutely, just like every player would like to have a great one. but I don't want to feel as if I'm being pushed and bullied into achieving it, and that this is the only way that you can achieve it. If anybody knows of a streamer that has managed to achieve getting a great one without grinding, I'm all ears. Point them out to me. I'll go and watch their stuff, hopefully learn something from it. There's just something that's just not right about the game. Whether Way of the Hunter suffers from it or not, no idea. I haven't played it enough to be able to make up my mind. Do I want to stream it? I don't know. I haven't played it enough to make up my mind. Do I want to take some more time off from this? Abso-fucking-lutely. Even if that black bear that just run across the background there, that when I picked it up and spied it through my binoculars, if it sat there and said fabled, I would have been like, oh my lord, and it would have motivated me to keep on going. I know there's a very, very slim chance of it. Ever happening unless you grind. But there has to be a more efficient way of doing it than this. There isn't. Try again. There will be no more efficient way of doing it than doing this. But you should be able to just walk around the map and just have the chances that you're going to get one spawn on the map, and that you can just, like in real life, that you can just bump into it and find it and discover it. But if you've got to kill tens of hundreds of animals in order to get the great one out of it, then it doesn't make sense to me. Because the chances are you've already shot what would have been the best parentage for the great one through the grind, which is, like I say, it just doesn't make sense with me. Maybe that's why I'm struggling with it. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. But continue with it, I must. I have another 18 levels of it. And again, instead of doing what I said I was going to do, which is to find the zones that have the least frustration to them, I can't. because every zone I go to is full of frustration. It is totally bonkers. You know, if the game is going to make it so that you have to grind, then there must be areas for people like myself, because, you know, we don't want to run around all over the frickin' place and run miles between zones and so on and so forth, because we're restricted to how many tents we can put down. You know, 16 tents, 55 zones. So you've got to be able to position your tents where you can effectively get to 4 zones easy, that then rely on those 4 zones to be zones that are comfortable. They don't have to be easy. I don't mind difficult shots. That's not what I'm complaining about. What I'm complaining about is that in reality you want that type of thing to look at, rather than miles and miles of this that is that thick and that dense that you can't see anything through it. Because in reality, if it was that thick and that dense, you wouldn't even go hunting there. You would position yourself on a wildlife highway and you would ambush, take them by surprise. You know, this is just shit. This is just garbage. And they've put so much of it into the maps purely to make life exceedingly difficult for you. Doesn't matter what map you go to. I've bought them all. I've looked at them all. Doesn't matter which map you go to, it's full of garbage like this. And the areas that you find like this, empty. The argument being, well, wildlife has enough sense to know that it needs to go into these reed beds so that it can hide from you. Yeah, but in order to get to those places, they need to go across areas that are open. You need to watch wildlife more to see that wildlife doesn't find every tree and every shrub from A to B to hide behind. And these areas like this that are wide open, not being funny or anything, but you know, watch a bit of wildlife on one. They much prefer these open spaces to these covered in reeds, because the things that are covered in reeds also hide the predators. If they go into these areas, they can see the predators coming, and they can smell the predators coming. This is what I'm saying, that the reality level just isn't there. And it's a shame, because I really do like the game, but to me it is not a game to grind on. If you want to play a grinding game, play something like Galaxion. Go and play something like Unreal Tournament. if you like that type of grinding game. You know, that's what they're built for. Build a game that is essentially you can't win. But this is just like a bastardized game. It is so heavily stacked against you. So disappointed. And like I say, to me it's on a slippery slope to its own destruction. And in some ways I hope it happens quick. But it's on that slippery slope to its own demise. Because I dare say there are far more players out there that like to play a game and have fun playing it rather than grinding it. Like I say, if you want to grind a game, buy a grinding game. Go and do Path of Exile, you know. Grinding Gear Games, it literally tells you in the title it's a grinding game. And if you're into those type of games, go and play those. Whoever decided to put a great one in, it's potentially going to destroy the game. And you see it now all the time. What's the next great one going to be? What's the next great one going to be? Everybody wants a great one. And I don't think everybody wants a great one at all. Like I say, if you're somebody who enjoys grinding and being demoralised and having your arse kicked all day every day, go and play a grinding game. This should never have been a grinding game, not to me. It should never have been allowed to turn into a grinding game. And when it's turned this way, it makes my suspicious head kick into gear. Why has it gone down this path? And there's only a couple of answers that you can give it. Is either one, like I say, game developers have been told to stop making their games too much fun because people would much rather sit at home, play the game, become a professional streamer or whatever, rather than go out and go to work and pay their taxes. Now, of course, professional streamers are still going to pay their taxes, but that's all they're doing. They're not producing something. They're not adding to the world's what would you call it? They're not adding to the world's produce. They're not producing a box of cornflakes. They're not producing a tyre. You know, they're just sat at home having fun playing games and making money out of it. And that upsets certain types of people. It doesn't upset me. You know, you're making your money, you're paying your taxes, you're contributing. It's not like me where I'm just sat on my backside on hours at a time. I don't want to be sat on my backside for hours at a time, not doing anything, not producing anything. I'd be much happier if I was able to go back to work, but I can't. The job that I was meant to do, i.e. landscape gardening, throwing my weight around, using my physical capabilities, I don't have those physical capabilities anymore. You know, where I used to be able to put down something like 150 metres, 200 metres of fencing a day, I can't even do 15. But if they didn't put a great one in, and if they'd left it as it was, I don't mind seeing people run around and miss more shots than they hit. You know, I find it amusing, I find it funny. But again, I don't want to play like that. I want to be able to play the game in such a way that you become, inverted commas, the perfect hunter. You only take a shot at an animal that you know that you can definitely hit and definitely kill. That you find whereabouts their particular zones are and wait for them and shoot them. That to me makes perfectly good sense. Probably doesn't make very exciting viewing from a streaming perspective. I don't know. Way of the Hunter is supposedly along those lines. But again, like I say, I've purchased it, I've spent a couple of days looking at it, playing it. I need to reset my game because of the amount of mistakes that I've made at the beginning point in the game. But that's fine. Look at this, yeah. I mean, another good type of hardcore test would be go from level 1 to 60 without using any of the skills or perks. Because in reality, they don't do a great deal for you. You know, the only perks that you need in this game are the anti-wobble ones. Everything else is just icing sugar. And that's what it is. It doesn't make you any better. Doesn't make the game any easier. The only ones that really work is the anti-wobble. And as soon as you get the anti-wobble and you get something like the Hyperion scope, that effectively speaking, those anti-wobble things that really helps you with your 4x20 scope are no longer really effective when you use the Hyperion, and are totally out of the window if you use the Argos. Yeah. The point being is, you have to spend your in-game currency to find it out for yourself. And I can watch people playing the game, and I'm like, how come they've got much less wobble than what I've got? What have they done differently with their skills and perks? You know, I mean, people in the past used to say that playing on a console and trying to get control of the wobble and to get a steady shot used to be crazily difficult for console players. Now when I watch console players, they seem to have an easier time getting a steady aim than what I do with a PC and a mouse. It just... I'm not pointing fingers at people, but I know that there are, and I've never looked for this game. Like I say, I'm not a person who cheats at a game, because if you're going to cheat a game, then you may as well not play it. But I know you can get things like auto aim for certain games. You know, is there some sort of a plug-in for this game? Non-official plug-in that makes it so that you've got a steadier aim? I've got no idea. I've not looked up into it. But I know when I'm watching certain people play, and I'm like, how the hell are they keeping their gun that steady? Is it something that improves in you as a player beyond level 60, that it's done on the, like, on the sly, on the quiet? I've got no idea. All I know is I watch people play and it's like, why don't theirs wobble like mine does? Maybe one day I'll figure it out, but it ain't going to be today. Right, I've done enough moaning and groaning. I have to go to the shop and get myself some food and some milk, because I'm out of tea, and I need to get myself some food and feed the cat. Will I be back on this later? I don't know. I haven't got a clue. The way I feel at the moment, no, not really. I know I've got to come back to it because I have to complete my science project, but I don't know what type of seed generation that the game has. I haven't got a clue. But the more I play it like this, the more it becomes apparent that there are days and times that the game is going to crush you. It's going to class every decent shot you've made as something that you've screwed up. Because you can do pretty much, you know, the same range shot on another day and it works. Boom, drop, job done. No having to run around and mess about. And that can last for hours. And then you think, yeah, I'm getting somewhere, and you shut down and you come back into the game, and all of those shots that you were doing perfectly the last time you played are now screwing up so that you have to run around all over the place. And it's like I say, it's always the longer range shots where it does it. Always. And you're never quite sure whether you gave it enough holdover. You're never quite sure. But, you know, if you can do it right 7 times out of 10, then why is it 3 times out of 10 it screws up? And like I say, if I was a real hunter and if I kept screwing up shots like this, I would no longer shoot. I would retire from hunting, knowing that I was making animals suffer unduly, and I wouldn't be able to do it anymore. I'd have to quit. But hey ho, that's just me. Right, I'm gone. I'm going to get myself down to the shop. Whether I'll come back later or not, no idea. But I'll be back on it at some point. Whether I need to take another 2 or 3 days off or whether I'll just come straight back, I ain't got a clue. I shall play it by ear and see how I feel. But for now, I'm gone. I'm going to shut up moaning. Have a good day wherever you are.